Before I go further in showing you some more functions in the Arbella Security Manager, I just wanted to take a moment to show you how difficult it is to set up security in the standard AX system. So here, as you can see, I've opened the user group permissions under the admin module, and I've selected the EU Europe domain and the AR Clerk 2 user group. I've also clicked on the Permissions tab, which opens up all the keys currently available in Dynamics AX. So I'm going to go to the Accounts Receivable module because I want to make some changes to the customer form under the General tab for the credit limits. So here I have to first find where that form would be. I'm guessing it would be under Tables. Then I would have to find the form. In this case, it's the customer details form. Notice there's no specific item here that says customer details form, but I can see customers down here. I'm thinking maybe it might be in there. So if I open that, I can scroll down. Of course, prior to this, I had to open the actual form itself to find out exactly the names of the fields that I want to change and where they're located. And I noted that it was the credit rating and credit limit field. Oh, here they are. So I can change these to no access. And credit rating. And then there was also another field called mandatory credit limit. But as you can see, it's not as intuitive as you'd like it to be. You're still having to mine through a lot of data keys here. Here's the mandatory credit limit, and even at this point I'm not 100% sure that I've set the right fields correctly, and I'm also not sure that there's anything behind the scenes that I need to do, or has this changed access to something else in the system. So what I would have to do is, after I'm done here, I'd have to go out and set up a test user, log out of the system completely, log back in as the test user, who would have to also be assigned to this user group, and then test the system to make sure that these fields were set correctly in other fields within the entire system. Now I'm going to show you how we do it in the Arbella Security Manager. So there's another functionality that I'd like to show you today, and this is in regards to changing the access on a particular form for a user group or domain combination. I want to show you how easy it is in Arbella Security Manager. So for example, in the Accounts Receivable module here, and I want to change the access for the customer details form. Note that I had it set to edit, but now I want to make a few minor changes here and there, kind of fine-tune everything. So I can go into the form itself, and I'm going to click back here to the form, and it's on the General tab, I know, and here it is, this credit limit information. I don't necessarily want everybody in this user group to have access to these fields here. So I just want to show you how quickly I can just select a field and with the green bar here, change it to no access, for example. Now I've actually modified this form very simply by being in the actual form, so you're seeing it virtually exactly what the user can access or can't access. So this eliminates having to go through the standard security and mining through all those data keys to try to find exactly where are my credit limits on this form. Here with the Arbella Security Manager, you are in the virtual form and you can see exactly where everything is and whether the user has access or not. So you can see changing access levels in Arbella Security Manager is very, very slick. And I can't stress enough how powerful this tool really is. I know I keep saying that, but it really is. It puts power and simplicity at your fingertips. Now we did take a look at how to copy the access levels from one user group to another. However, you can also create and copy domain and user group combinations from, for example, one domain to another, from a certain section of user groups. You can do any combination you desire. That is very powerful. There is also role-based security. You can create user groups basically that are roles. Once you assign them as roles, you can then assign user groups to those roles. This greatly streamlines your security structure in the system, making it very simple and obvious which role a user should be assigned to. What about the security change log? We talked a little bit about that before. I mean, that tracks every change within the system. Very powerful, very handy. You can export it to Excel and do whatever you need with it. Auditing reports. We have added 4 auditing reports in the 4.0 version. These reports basically outline your entire security structure in every format possible. And you can run all kinds of filters and queries and sorts on these reports. They're very functional, and export them to Excel as well. Permissions comparison. I've never seen this anywhere. You can basically compare permissions from one user group domain combination to multiple others. So for example, a manager can view at one glance all the user groups within his department or her department and immediately know who has what functions. That's priceless right there. I mean, for that alone, I would pay the price for this system. What about virtual visibility of specific user access? We saw that as well in this last session. And visual display of all reports. Boy, is that easy. That makes it really, really slick. So let's review a little bit what we've seen here. We compared all the attributes between Arbella Security Manager versus the standard AX security. Okay, we know who won there. We saw how easily we were able to modify the access levels for a certain user group. We even copied it to another user group. That was power and simplicity demonstrated right there. Then we had a review of the other functions in Arbella Security Manager. We saw what a great and powerful tool this can be for managing your security in Microsoft Dynamics AX.